Thursday lunchtime, SAA business rescue practitioners have proposed a new rescue plan ahead of the creditors' vote next week. It includes financial support and training during a temporary layoff scheme and the retention of 1,000 staff of the current 4,700. So, does this plan have a prayer? Guy Leitch is the editor of SA Flyer magazine and an aviation commentator. Guy, good afternoon to you. It's the 1,000 staff members being retained from the 4,700 strong workforce that I find intriguing. If that is adopted, what sort of airline emerges using those staff numbers?
Yeah, hi, Jeremy. Nice to be with you. Well, of course, the bottom line is that if you reduce the staff of the airline, even if it was grossly overstaffed from 4,500 to just 1,000, it's going to be a shadow of its former self. The intention is to keep the airline operating so that it can service South Africa on the long-haul routes, particularly to the USA, Australia, and Europe. And they have done the necessary fleet adjustments. In fact, they're hoping for an entirely new fleet and doing a great job of handing back all the currently leased aircraft. But obviously the whole airline is expected to shrink to about 25% of what it was. And they're still struggling to get the buy-in from the employees to agree to voluntary severance packages. Some of the unions are beginning to accept it as a collective. Others are saying that their members can choose individually as to whether they accept this deal or not. But the actual quality of the business rescue plan leaves a lot to be desired in terms of detail.
Let's just look at, even if it's imperfect, if it is not voted on next week by the creditors, in other words, not accepted, what happens then? The airline then faces the prospect, I understand, of liquidation. If that happens, is that the end of it?
I fear as much, and that is the element of brinkmanship that is going on between the unions and the state, or the DPE, in that the state has effectively said that if we can't come to agreement, the airline will be liquidated, and you as employees will enjoy the cold comforts of concurrent creditors. Literally, there's sort of a package of maybe 30,000 rand instead of, in some cases, hundreds of thousands of rands worth of benefits. But it's extremely difficult to find a fair balance between pilots who may, have already be on 2 million rand plus annual salaries, and workers who are now expecting to get 11 weeks for every year of service. That's a huge imbalance to try and bridge. So the chance remains that the airline will be liquidated. And I think that is actually what Minister Mboweni is actually, in a sense, aiming for, although Minister Gordon has said that, no, he does want to preserve jobs. All right, Guy Leitch, editor of SA Flyer magazine, thank you very much indeed. That creditors meeting set to vote on the proposed plan next week. That'll be the 14th of July.